you need to develop a story around your brand. And that is what differentiates you from others. Reason being is your customer, your audience should find themselves in that story. Welcome back to Beyond the Book. Today, Ahmed and I are discussing StoryBrand, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. This was a book that was one of the first ones I read. I know, Ahmed, was this the first book you read?
It is the first one I read, or the second, but like technically the first one wasn't a book really. Anyway, yeah,
We
it
won't
is.
get into details, but okay, cool. Um, so the tag to this, clarifying your message so customers will listen. Use the 7 elements of great storytelling to grow your business. Ahmed, I really feel like the word story is thrown around so much in the marketing space and business and whatever. And oftentimes I feel like people don't really get what it means or they overcomplicate it. What do you, how do you feel story plays into branding and business?
Mm. Like before, if you tell me like 5 years ago, oh, because of stories you can sell more, I won't believe it. Yeah, I don't know. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't understand that stories can sell. They don't know that story can sell, but there's a lot of limiting beliefs, and I think that it is one of the only book that really show you how to use story to integrate that into your brand, whatever it might be, like e-commerce, real brand, whatever it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been reading The Hero and the Outlaw. That's that archetype book I was telling you about. And it's an older book. I mean, I think it came out in the late 90s. Uh, and they're talking there was a switch, no, early 2000s maybe. There was a switch in the way business was done. It used to be the way you differentiated yourself or positioned was the features you had and your price. That was really it. It was like you made furniture that was easy to assemble and you were the only one doing that, so you made a lot of money. Or you were a gas company and your gas was cheaper, you made a lot of money. Well, with the rise in the internet and the ease of access for information and whatnot, you saw more businesses popping up, and you can't just compete on price as a business. It's just a race to the bottom, meaning you can only cut your prices so much. So what marketers and strategists found was you need to develop a story around your brand. And that is what differentiates you from others. Reason being is your customer, your audience should find themselves in that story. And that's how you decide, is it Coke or is it Pepsi? What did you
Mhm.
grow up with? That's the story. Or, what store do you buy your clothes from? There's a story to all of that. And in this book, Donald Miller does really an excellent job at breaking down the story, which can seem very ethereal and conceptual, into 7 practical steps for crafting a story. Ahmed, can you just give an overview? What is story brand, and maybe what types of stories fall into that?
Yeah. So the best way I can explain it, like if you think about it for a minute, what the author did is go take the framework of movies and translate it into like the word of brands. Because if you watch movies and like you don't know the framework, obviously, at least not until now, but movies use the same framework for anything. Like any movies, they need to use it. Otherwise, you watch 10 minutes and you're done with it, right? And there is how many actually, 7 or 8, I think, type of stories, and I'm gonna tell them to you, and you're gonna like have a light bulb. Oh my god, yeah, this is how this movie is made. There's overcoming the monster, rags to riches, the quest, voyage and return, rebirth, comedy and tragedy. Tragedy. Yeah.
Yep, you're good.
And
Yeah.
so the framework, you read it. What do you think about it? Like, tell me more about it.
I mean, the framework makes sense. And to your point about he created this based off of movies. The fact that there's so many examples of the framework uh, in the book really helps kind of lay that in. Um, and I'm just going to read real quick. And if you have the book, I'm pulling from page 21. Uh, the framework. So basically, you have a character, and that character has a problem. Eventually, they meet a guide who gives them a plan and then calls them to action. And they end up succeeding in the end, and it helps them avoid failure. So, what does an application look like? I'm going to give you Star Wars because I'm a big Star Wars fan. You have Luke. The external problem, he has to defeat the Empire. Internally, is he a Jedi? Philosophical, good versus evil. Classic story. Then he meets the guide, Obi-Wan, who lived as a Jedi and trained him. And he was given encouragement to trust the Force. That led him the call to action, go defeat the Empire. In the end, the Death Star blows up. The rebellion wins. And that helps them avoid the rebellion being crushed or being defeated. So when you look at it from your brand story, it's like you need to start with identifying your character as your target audience. Ahmed, how can you do that? Like, how do you practically define who your target audience is in this story? And do
So
we
yeah,
start there?
yeah, actually, like many brands, before knowing the framework, or like I might think that not all of them do that wrong, but most of them, yeah, they do. They put themselves as the hero, like talking about their features, their products benefit, or how good they are, how better they are than their competition, and nobody cares. Like, you don't care, I don't care, and I can count on my hand the number of times that I bought something because of such features of benefit or better than the competition. Like, sometimes it's based on pricing, but depends on what, you know. So
Yeah. Do you think it can be a turnoff when brands just, talk about themselves and all of that?
sure thing, it's a big turn off for me, like a real big turn off. Like, it's good, yeah, to show the competition, how are you differentiating yourself from the competition, but the the more thing that you can do, the only thing that can bring customers and make them feel something, is telling them how are you going to resolve their problems and pain points. That's what makes the difference. Not only showing how your product is good, or how your brand is good, or how are you
Yeah.
good, you know.
Yeah. No, I love that. Uh, all right. So let's say someone's starting out, and I know that you, Ahmed, created your own story brand framework.
Mm,
Maybe can you just give that high level, and then we can kind of break that down into how you identified the character and we move through it?
sure.
Awesome.
So I'm a brand designer and web developer in the Shopify space, and I did brand strategy for myself. But after I like understood that it is not the same thing, like doing your brand story and from the brand strategy is necessary if you want to communicate accordingly with your audience. And after knowing what are the pain points of your customers or your ideal customer before even having one, so you frame your story around that. My customer, they have problem with the pricing, and they don't know why someone is supposed to be more uh, like more higher than another one. Why should they choose me? This is a problem, like don't not knowing the value of the branding itself. And another problem is past experience, with designers that they paid that much, but they didn't receive the actual results that they were aiming for. And the last one is like the feeling that they experienced before. So that is, how do you say, like overwhelmed, how do you, not disgust, but the other, I don't know the word for that feeling.
Disappointed?
Yeah, disappointed, exactly. So after that, all my copywriting is revolves around that. Like, have you ever felt disappointed with designers before? You're not gonna feel that way with me. But I'm not selling myself, I'm just selling the actual results. And after that, I need to showcase studies, testimonials, um, like the transformation from start to finish. Like, how are you going to be at the end of my after doing business with me? Without even talking about my competition here, not even talking about my services. I explain what are my services, but I'm not trying to saying I do this, I do this, I do this, and that's why you should work with me, and so on and so forth. I just explain step by step how you can work with me, and what are you going to benefit from working with me. So that's how I frame my story around it. And
Can I repeat that back to you?
yeah,
So in the context of the 7 steps, so the character would be the target audience. So I'm assuming business owners?
yeah, business owners who want to launch their skincare brand for sure. Like,
Mhm.
my target audience, I named her Melissa or Sabrina. I don't even remember, but yeah, let's say Sabrina want to launch her skincare brand, and she landed on my website, and like
Needs
the problems
designs.
that I yeah
Okay.
design around the story.
So the external problem would probably be from past experiences, maybe on Fiverr, Upwork, or they had an intern. Sabrina had an intern.
Hmm.
Uh, is a poor experience. Maybe they didn't receive the deliverables in time. Maybe it wasn't the quality that they were hoping or expecting. Maybe the person ghosted them. Who knows? Internally, Sabrina likely has a feeling of maybe, like you said, disappointment, hopelessness, maybe. Like,
Yeah,
wow, I worked with one person or several people, maybe they were a reference. And if that didn't go through, like maybe this isn't for me. And philosophically, it would probably be, hmm,
I didn't put it philosophically because, like, I don't know really that much. Like, I can put it after that I
right.
worked with many of them, right?
Yeah.
Because
But at this
most of
point,
them who incorporate this framework, like, maybe they had customers before, so they know maybe who they are, and that you can work better with that. But when you're just starting out, like, you're assuming, right?
right. Yeah.
You're
There
assuming,
is a
and
lot.
exactly, you try to be as close as possible.
Yeah. And then after the problems have been identified and,
Yeah.
Sabrina's reading Ahmed's website, all the copy is speaking to those pain points. Ahmed is going to lay out the plan. So the how do we get past this? And I think this is a crucial part. It's something that I've put on my website as well. Like, here's our process. And there's a reason why everyone has the 5 steps to achieve X, Y, or Z, whatever. It's because it's easy to remember and it's replicable. So as you scale your business, take that process and essentially copy and paste. You tweak, refine as you go along, but you have to have some sort of uniformity in what you're doing, or you're just going to be, doing 1,000 things. So after that plan has been laid out, the opportunity or the call to action would be to do it, to get their brand identity designed by Ahmed, or the strategy
So
by Ahmed.
yeah, I'm just gonna put it down
Yeah,
for you, like, because it is existing. My 2 steps are, like, you book a fit call with me to know if we're a good fit. Second step is book the workshop, and from there we can upscale to another services. But you must go through the very two first step that I just told you, and after that, like, my call to action is to schedule the call, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
cool. I love it. And then there's really two potential outcomes from that. Can you explain what the positive and negative outcome would be that
Yeah.
wraps up
So
the story brand?
technically, I don't want to have, like, the the failure
Sure.
outcome. Yeah, but I
So
tell
maybe
them
that's the thing you're avoiding then, and
exactly.
that
So
is, like, in the framework, it's more of a not, "So if you work with us, like, here's the good, here's
Yeah,
the good potential and the bad potential. It's just we're
and
avoiding
I
that thing.
extracted this like this sentence from Chris Do, saying that I'm gonna tell you what can happen with you not working with me. You're gonna find someone else, you're gonna work with him, and you're gonna waste 3 months back and forth. You're gonna receive something that you might not like, or you will not be satisfied, or you can work with me, and I'm 99% sure that you'll be delighted with your work, like my other customers that did business with me before. And so this is the failure that you can avoid, and the success obviously is being happy with your brand, being proud of your brand. This is how I like laid it out. Like, be proud of your brand as a success.
Yeah, I love that. I'll be honest, I have not meticulously sat down and crafted my the story brand or the story for Old Soul. I have identified a few things. When it comes to the character, the main character, obviously, my clients or potential clients, and the main pain point that I found is, and this is from just asking. I think that's a big thing when you're taking all of your first meetings. Like, you need to ask, so what are the pain points of your business? What's keeping you up at night? And you're going to, write that down. And over time, you'll start to see there's a common thread that runs throughout. So the commonality I've found is a lot of my clients, they've been in business for a while. They've had proven success. When it comes to marketing, almost all of them have never relied upon marketing to increase the bottom line. It's just been something that's like, I guess we need to do it. And when it comes to their social media presence, they've never really been keen on. Maybe they had an intern, they had someone that they paid a couple bucks a week, and they made a couple posts, nothing happened. So when I approached them about the potential for a podcast, the potential to do video content and get them, educating their target audience through video, there's a lot of pushback. The problem is they don't feel comfortable doing that. And that makes total sense. If you didn't grow up with the technology in your hand, like, people of our generation, Ahmed, it is weird to take a selfie and post it. It is weird to take a video. And I've had people say like they don't want to seem egotistical. And you work through that. So that's the main that's the character. Someone that's been in business for a while. They know they probably need to be more present and engaged on social media. They don't know how, and it feels uncomfortable. People have pushed them in the past the wrong way, or it's always just been, a loss monetarily. And yeah, so a big charge I have after reading the book is to sit down and do that. So maybe, Ahmed, can we talk about best practices of crafting your story brand? And then we can get into the applications, basically the so what.
Yeah. So when I read the book, I understood that it is more like made around crafting a better website. Like, you have a website and you're not selling, you're not doing nothing with it, like not at its full potential. And technically, the framework help you structure your website in a way that it is clear what are you offering, what problem are you solving, and what are the steps that your customer needs to take to work with you. Like, clear, loud, and clear, crystal clear. That's the point of the framework. And after that, you can use it for your website, for your sub products. Let's say you want to launch a course or um, an ebook, whatever it might be. You still can use the framework around that, like stating the pain points, steps, call to action. As simple as that, I think.
Yeah. And I would highly recommend when you're reading the book, don't do what I did. And that's you read the book, you take a couple notes, maybe there's some sticky notes in there too, if you're
Oh
feeling
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
But
definitely.
then you don't do anything with it. That's what I did. I read the book, I took all the notes, and I was thinking in the moment, "Oh, this is fantastic." I put it on the shelf. I highly, highly recommend when you read the book, take time and as you go through each section, like, work on the stuff that that Donald Miller is discussing. It makes more sense to do it at the same time than to just put it on the shelf and walk away. Or if you have the discipline and you know you'll actually do it, read the book all the way through, maybe a little speed read, so you have context at the very end, and then go back section by section, fill it out. I'm sure that there's some like downloadable that he gives a link to.
Yeah.
Print that out, use the PDF, fill it out. But the point is, you need to work on this uh, as you go through the book, so it doesn't just become something that you look at once and put away, like I did. Um, and when it comes to the applications, yes, there was a lot about the website. The book came out, I think, in 2017. Uh, so there isn't a ton of social media stuff on there. Socials were popping back then, but it's just not really in the book. But yes, so applications, website. Um, he talks a lot about a one liner. Think of it kind of as your elevator pitch and crafting a story around that. So not saying, you know, we have the best brooms in the world, um, and we sell to B2B businesses.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to craft it into an actual a story through that. And he lays out how you do that. Uh, so you have your one liner. He also recommends coach your team on what that one liner is. Your
Yeah.
people need to know what your business does. I found myself with Old Soul. We went through so many iterations of offerings that when I was having, business calls or talking to people that I meet about what I do, it just I could see, their eyes glazing over because I was saying, well, we do this and we do that and da, 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 da. And, that goes back to not being a specialist. But you coach your people, you come up with that great one liner, and everyone should be able to say it. Uh, and it needs to be something that isn't stale. It's alive. Um, Ahmed, how can you incorporate StoryBrand into a potential offering that you would provide to other clients or to
Mm.
clients?
I think the authority is important, and empathy. Like empathy is technically saying that we understand pain points, right? And the authority helps, like saying, "Oh, they can help me resolve those pain points." If you are a doctor, saying that you're a doctor is a game changer. I'm not saying that at all, right? And so, yeah, just those two um, traits helps build the process of the customer going through the
Yeah.
journey of buying.
Yeah. And it also just gives reassurance and it shows expertise. It shows that you're methodical as well. When you're asking questions like what are the pain points you're experiencing, that puts you into the position of a specialist or physician and not an order taker. You're not just saying, so what do you need done? Oh, well, we need a logo and it has to pop. Okay, cool. Here's how much it is. And you walk away. Or how much are you wanting to pay? Okay, yeah, I guess that works. So you're asking those higher level questions. I think you can also, if you're a web designer, I totally think you should incorporate StoryBrand. Like, read the book, figure it out, have an understanding of it. Uh, and you could have in your onboarding, once they've agreed, just go through the framework with them and help them craft the story brand. That could be an add-on, that could just be a part of your process. Copywriters, 1,050%, you should be incorporating story brand with your clients
Oh my
because
goodness.
if you're in the copywriting world, all you hear about is story, 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 story. And instead of you trying to reinvent the wheel, look at those different story types that Med mentioned earlier in the episode, read the book, and incorporate that. Uh, yeah, it is something that I've worked with a few of my clients on, and it's been helpful because it just clarifies a lot, and it gives you grounds to be like, okay, if they're saying, well, I want to, include this as well. Well, no, no, no. We agreed that we found the main pain points are X, Y, and Z, not all this other stuff that you're trying to add. So it gives you the ability to kind of confine the scope of things to help you be more focused and be more strategic. Ahmed, how can you incorporate the story brand or the framework into your ad copy or social media?
So yeah, again, addressing the pain points, I think. it's the way to go. I'm not a copywriter, but
Sure.
with the framework in mind, addressing the pain points is the way to go. And I don't run ads for my services. The reason being, it feels like in the web design space, feels like salesy. To be honest, it's not like selling course or something like that. It's
Right.
yeah, I just feel that way about it. But on my copy, on my website, on my blog posts, across all my social medias, I always address the pain points in some point at some point, and saying how I can help indirectly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm your guy. Like I always explain how they can fix their problems, but just saying that I can do that too.
Yeah. No, I like that. And another application that Donald Miller brings up is collect and tell stories of transformation. This is on page 173 if you're following
Yeah.
along. Um, I really like this because getting referrals or testimonials can be difficult. It can feel awkward. It can feel forced or feel like you're being desperate. And the truth is, word of mouth, it has shown time and time again, is the strongest motivator for purchasing decisions. If your friend or trusted mentor, family, whomever says, check out this company, use this person, buy this product, you're going to be way more likely to do that than just, a Facebook ad that comes up or a YouTube ad that comes up and you're just pressing skip as soon as possible. So when we collect these stories, if you get a testimonial, it was really great working with Imed. He was timely, the whatever, whatever.
Hmm.
You can ask them on the front end to maybe talk a little bit about why they chose to work with you, and that helps you address that pain point. So again, in your website copy, when you're showing all of your testimonials and whatnot, weave the story into the testimonial. You're not, you know, changing anything so it's false or a lie. You're just saying, okay, this is what the client faced before. This is the process we went through to get the ideal outcome. And then here's the result. And it helped them achieve X, and it helped them to avoid the bad. And you
Yeah.
can apply that to your social content as well when you're posting, talking about, previous clients you've worked with. So and so was experiencing this issue. They worked with us for this reason, and they went along this figurative journey to the ideal outcome.
And in my case, for testimonials, I don't have that many, but um, let's say there's many pinpoints that one of your customer may have, and they see like a testimonial saying that you're an excellent communicator and you have an outstanding process. You felt heard. Um, you felt like a team member, right? And that is the only thing that they needed to read to work with you. Like they just read that and that's it. They didn't read your services, your offering. They don't care. That was the only thing they needed to read. And you see how that it is important. And the thing is also what is crazy about it is for testimonials you can have keywords for your offering at the same time, like excellent communicator, and I received my branding that fast, so you have branding keyword in your testimonials, and it works for you, not against you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. And yeah, I mean, there's so many applications to StoryBrand. Um, and instead of going into all of them, I'll defer to the book. And instead of going, extensively into each of the sections of the StoryBrand, I'll defer to the book. It's a short book. It's a good read. It's easy to read.
Very easy to read, to be honest. Like feel like a breeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going through it, and yeah, very, very good.
Well, in closing, Ahmed, are there any resources that you would recommend for those listening? And also, because he may not mention it on his own, please tell them about the guide that you have. And yeah, what resources do you got?
Yeah, so I dive deep into storytelling with the Marketing Made Simple podcast with JJ Redick, and I don't know the name of the other one, and the other one which is Business Made Simple by Donald Miller. Like, it's not speaking about the storytelling per se, but it's in the same wave, if I can say like that. And my guide, which I took inspiration from the book, and I made it into a workbook so that you can understand how you can integrate that into your business with tangible examples for e-commerce brand, because that's with who I work. So if you want my guide, head to buyimedjabi.com/storytelling.
There you go. And how much does that cost?
Zero. It's
Oh, zero,
zero.
zero
Zero.
dollars. It's free. So I highly
Yeah.
recommend when you start the book, get the downloadable, and go through it at the same time. There you go. He made it simple for you. It follows
Oh,
the
yeah.
cadence. And if you're an ecom, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And with that, I think it's a wrap.
It is a wrap. See you on the next episode.
See you on the next episode. Bye.